everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey guys. Hey. How are y'all doing? I know it's late, but I wanted to talk about this because I've been trying to figure out why this is in the evidence list for things, and I find it interesting. So we're going to go through a couple things. Thank you for joining, Andrew. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Melinda. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Well, hello, new chatter. How's everybody doing? I had a couple people did pretty much nail it. It's some sort of consumer report, but it shows things that doesn't show up on like your normal type consumer report. I honestly didn't even know that this existed. I'm not even going to sit here and like pretend like I know shit. All right. I didn't know that this existed. And I pay attention to my credit because it's crap. And I'm trying to pay off things little bits at a time as much as I possibly can. So I pay attention. I have alerts on things. I have different things that I have alerts on, like multiple different things are watching my credit. But this apparently gives information for stuff that never shows up. And the one video that I'm going to watch with you guys, there's one story that's really kind of scary because like you could be basically being turned down for things for stuff that you have no clue about because this kind of stuff again does not show up on your actual like credit report. So everything that I am looking at when it comes to this early warnings report is that it really is basically created by the banks. And what it does is it keeps track of like whenever your bank account goes into a balance for a certain long like period of time. It talks about majority. Okay, so I just had to check the poll for a second. Yeah, because I didn't know what the frick it was either. I had no freaking clue. Okay, so as of right now, it's been 18 minutes, 103 votes. 18% have heard of a EWR, whatever, early warning report, and 80%, 82% have not. Okay, yeah, because I was definitely in that little 82%. Basically, what it does is it keeps track of what you do with your bank accounts. If a bank account goes into a negative, stays into a negative, it tracks it. If there's some sort of like bank fraud or they think that you're committing some sort of bank fraud is usually whenever these reports get created. And what was the biggest question that we've had so far? What is one of the biggest freaking questions? Right here, accounts. What was one of the biggest questions? Why do these college kids have 30,000 freaking bank accounts? Okay, we've been questioning things. We've been questioning some things. But we also don't have like anything on this paper that says who this is for. Now it's being turned in by the state, which means I can only assume that it's for Kohberger. But then I can't automatically assume that either, because why the shit is the state turning in paperwork that has something to do with Dylan buying some clothes at freaking TJ Maxx? So I guess we honestly cannot just sit here and be like, oh, it's got to be for Kohberger because the state submitted it. No, because again, like I just said, why is the state submitting stuff about what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx and what Kaylee bought at Petco for her dog? Okay, like why? So again, we can't just automatically assume it's for Kohberger. So we're going to look at it and we're going to look at the search warrants for the bank accounts. And I also want to look at this crypto thing that they put in here for Kohberger because I don't think that we saw any other crypto accounts for like the victims. I don't think so. So before we get to the documents, looking through the search warrants or whatever, I'm going to show you guys this video. We're going to watch this little video for like a few minutes together. I'm going to put a link for it also in the description box because I probably will not remember to put it in the, not the description box. I'm going to drop it in the chat here for you guys here in a second to go to this guy's channel. Because I will probably honestly forget to put it into the description box later because I did not do it already. So let me give y'all this video so that y'all can listen to the full thing because I'm not going to play the full thing. I'm just going to play what he says about what this actually is, who created it, what it does, what it says about you, all of those things, because it's freaking interesting. And again, this is not something that I knew about. I didn't know this was a situation. to know that there could be things going on in the background that I don't have any freaking clue about, which is a possibility. He goes on later on in this story, and I'm not going to show it here. That's why I dropped the link. He goes on later on in his video and says that there was a woman who kept getting like denied bank accounts. Nowhere she went would let her open a bank account. And what ended up happening is that there was like some sort of bank like check fraud on her early warning report, but they couldn't prove that she had ever actually committed like check fraud. They couldn't find the checks. They couldn't prove anything. Like she swore up and down she had never done anything, and the bank could not prove it. So there was something going on her stuff that she had no idea about because nothing showed up anywhere. And whenever her bank account was getting like denied, like you get the letters, I guess, of like whenever you get denied for like credit cards and stuff, how sometimes you get like a letter saying why you don't get like approved for it, but it never said anything about possible fraud. And it's not like she ever had a warrant out for her arrest for bad checks, anything like that. So these reports apparently just have like all kinds of stuff on us in our bank account stuff, but they report like 3 different things. But the main thing that I'm hearing when it comes to reading some stuff on Yahoo, and lots of people actually are having conversations about this over on Twitter about what it possibly could be. And the majority consensus is fraud of some sort. Fraud of some sort. What I don't know, and what I haven't been able to find out yet, is if there was some sort of crypto fraud going on in like a crypto account, if this would trigger this report, or if this is just for actually like FDIC backed financial institutions. That's the thing I don't know. So let's go ahead and watch this because this is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting.
Early warning services, the secret credit reporting agency that has all your banking information. Hi, this is consumer protection attorney Bill Clanton. I've helped hundreds of consumers deal with inaccurate credit reporting, bad background checks, debt collection harassment, and all sorts of other consumer-related matters. This video, we're talking about the secret consortium of banks. If you were ever paranoid or had some paranoia about banks secretly recording information about you, then this will confirm it. There are a number of banks that got together to create their own credit reporting agency, and they are able to share information about you. They call their credit bureau early warning services. According to the CFPB, it's co-owned by Bank of America, Truist, which is a bank that owns some other banks. They don't. I don't know if they have any banks under the Truist name. They have banks under other names. Capital One, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, PNC Bank, U.S. Bank, and Wells Fargo.
All the big boys. So all the big boys use this like secret reporting system that you have to specifically ask for. And they've even been known to deny you. Like, you know how you can go to like certain places to get your credit report, but you can for sure go once a year to like this annual creditreport.com thing and get your like official deep down, like detailed ask credit report. In case you didn't know that, for some of you, now you know that. You have to specially request this one. You can do it once a year, just like the regular one, but they can deny you this one. They can deny giving this information to you about your own bank account information. That's insane.
So all these shining stars of banks got together to create their own credit reporting agency, like I said, and they share information about you. And if you ever request, you can request your credit report for free from them once a year. And I'll put the address where you can do that in the description. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona. You'll be shocked. It has all your bank accounts. It has your monthly balances. Some cases even has transactions. It's got everything about
your transactions. Your transactions. So you wouldn't even have to technically go, like if you were a police officer, I guess, you wouldn't even have to technically go and find each individual like bank account that somebody had bank accounts in. You could just run this one report and it would instantly give you every single thing that they had financially attached to their name. You seem to know a lot about it though. Does this have anything to do with crypto? Like is this only banks? Because I've seen you say like agree with some of the things that I'm like figuring out here. Who knows if this also regulates like crypto fraud transactions, or is that a completely different department, a completely different entity? Does anybody know? Because I don't know. Like, I did crypto for a while because Doge was fun. Let's be so for real. Okay. I got into AMC, I got into GameStop, and I got into Doge, and it was freaking fun. It was hilarious. I made some t-shirts. All right. But whenever it comes into this is way it wasn't nope. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I know anything. So I'm trying to figure out if this would have anything to do with crypto too, because now we have a crypto account for Bryan. But that's what I figured, that crypto was SEC, but I don't know if they like have some sort of reporting system. I mean, probably not, because most of these freaking governmental systems don't even like speak to each other in no way anyway. Yeah, I had Doge t-shirts, AMC Gorilla Ape t-shirts. It was fun stuff. Crypto is pretty regulated now, I guess. I mean, they're trying to make it like really official. I haven't paid attention to crypto in a whole long time. Thank you for the $2.99, Mad Season. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know. I just know there's been like bank account talk and weird crypto talk, and I don't know all of the details. I just know that now we're getting a couple of things that sort of lead to those things, and now I'm interested to look at it. Right? Like, okay, so okay, if it's connected to your bank account, yes, but that's only for if you're buying crypto, or I mean, not even buying crypto, honestly. That's only for if you're like loading into your crypto wallet or out of your crypto wallet to take your money back out into your account, but not for like inside your actual crypto wallet, inside the brokerage making the like trades and ups and downs and ins and outs and all that stuff. Kind of regulated. It definitely needs a lot of improvement. Yeah, well, they call it check systems too. Like whenever I was looking up, there's not a lot of videos. Either that or YouTube is really just trying to not show me anything. Because I was trying to listen to some videos while I was making dinner about this, and his was like really the most informative that I could find because there really wasn't too much. But most of the stuff, it's just like both. It was the check system thing, and then this early warning report. But all of it still like led to there's some sort of like fraud or something. But just know that they can like literally see all of your transactions and every little thing too. Like that's insane, because even to like link your card to anything that gives you like reward points back or anything like that, like you have to like use Plaid and do all sort of like security stuff, and these people can just like run it up and deny you access to your own shit. That's insane to me. I'd be damned.
About your banking history in it. And it's pretty crazy. They know a lot more about you than you even suspect.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked when you get this report. Okay. Now they got this idea and put this together in 2006.
I'm curious.
So they've been around 15, go almost 16 years now. They claim to provide innovation that transforms financial experience and transforms lives. There are more than 2,500 companies that rely on them, they claim. So in those 15 years of service, 445 lawsuits overall, 65 of them are for Fair Credit Reporting Act violations, over 1 million CFPB complaints, 39.
In how these reports are keeping the information and how it's been incorrect. I mean, I might as well just let him tell the story about the lady at this point, honestly.
1,000 in January 2022, in 1 month. 332 customer complaints to the Better Business Bureau, 1.03 star reviews at the Better Business Bureau. They're a mess. Okay. What your early warning services report will include is your name, address, phone numbers, date of birth, and social security number, standard credit reporting information, savings and checking account information, including bank names, account opening dates, closing dates, balances, account history, and banking activity. A list of companies that have recently requested that report.
Yeah, so if they want it, like, see, that's another thing, a list of companies. If you're just going to open like a bank account just to have like your paycheck deposited into, that's wild that they like feel the need to go back and look at like every little bitty thing ever. Like, what if you're just not happy with the bank that you have and you just want to switch banks? It's just wild. Like, I just don't understand. But I also want to know like who it's for. Because there's so many banks. Like, for some reason, these college kids all have like several banks, and we're going to go through those too.
And when you apply for a bank account, you can expect any bank you applied to request your early warning report. That's one way they check you out when you open a bank account. In March 2020, Early Mortgage Services agreed to pay nearly $4 million for violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act. According to the class action, Early Warning Services did not comply with the consumer's request for her file. In violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they provided an inaccurate consumer file.
Isn't that the limit? I think it's like 10,000, right? Like if you do anything at $10,000 that you have to, like, it has to be reported, right? I think I read that somewhere. Oh, thank you for the 20, Andrew. Became a member today. Have been enjoying your content lately and happy to support. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out because I don't know. I've never heard of this before. I have never heard of this before. Girl, okay, look. I've paid off 2 auto loans in full. And each time I paid off the auto loan, it dropped my score. And it damn sure didn't like improve my insurance payment either, showing that I had paid that damn thing off either. So no, I know that. And you know why? Because it goes based off of your credit age. So if you pay off a mortgage loan and we say that it's a regular 30-year mortgage loan, okay? And that's like your oldest account ever. And the only the other accounts on there, because normally things drop off in like 7 years, right? So say that your oldest account on there after a 30-year account drops off as being completely paid off and no longer reportable, that drops your credit age down to a baby. So that's why it negatively affects you to actually close out accounts, because it makes it look like you actually don't have a history. It's a game. It's the stupidest game that the government has played on its people. It's gross. It's super gross. Thank you for the $2, Kimberly. I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right? Like at $9,999. If I ever had that freaking much money to deposit, jeez, I wish I had that problem. Wild.
Allegedly removing the term fraud from the file disclosures. Plaintiff Shabani Stewart filed her class action lawsuit in March 2018, claiming the company violated the Fair Credit Reporting Act by failing to provide accurate disclosures to consumers when they have fraud alerts on their account.
So she couldn't, like I said, this woman could not get banks, and they had false information about her committing some sort of like check fraud or something like that. And she couldn't even dispute it or figure it out. Like, that's boo-boo.
Stewart alleges she was repeatedly denied bank accounts. She was debanked. The banks allegedly informed her there were fraud notations in her early warning file. But after she ordered her early warning file, there was no mention of fraud. So EWS.
See, penalized for being responsible. Isn't that the stupidest shit ever? It makes you not even care. It really makes you not even care.
Early warning systems failed to provide her with the same information they were providing to the banks. They were hiding from her the fraud designation in her file.
Hiding it from her so that she couldn't see anything about what was actually wrong with her, why she couldn't get a bank account. Hiding it from her because they couldn't actually prove it. It was a false flag. Refusing to let her see that information. I be damned. I can't get freaking a bank account whatsoever in order to live my life and pay my bills and live like a normal human. And you not give me the reason why when it's your fault it's on there because it's wrong. I would own the whole company. See, that's why though, because you paid off your car, you paid off your mortgage, and it dropped your credit age. It went from being whatever, from like what, a 5-year car loan and a 30-year mortgage down to an infant. Because what do you have? Maybe a couple credit cards, maybe some sort of shopping account, some sort of store credit card. Like anything is, you know what I mean? Jeez, like it's the stupidest bullshit ever on the planet. It's the dumbest shit. I hate it so much. See, there you go. Congratulations. Not a lot of people say that. It's wild. But I want to know. Like, that's why I like started looking into this. He really doesn't say much of nothing else. I'll let him finish her story real quick. Hold
on. Plaintiff was misled by early warning's disclosure. Plaintiff specifically wanted to know if early warning had a record of her committing fraud.
But this is true. Some debt is better than no debt. It's the freaking for real. As long as you've got something going on there. And you know that there's places where you can actually have your like rent and your utilities and your phone bill and stuff like that reported to your credit. A lot of people don't know that. Some credit card services will let you do it. And even if you don't have a landlord that allows you to do it, there's certain services. I used to use one. I don't remember the freaking name of it. But you can pay like a $7 fee to like this one company, or even Self-Lender. I might start. I think is my Self-Lender link in there. I like Self-Lender because, well, you know what? That's a whole other story. Anyway, there is a way that you can have your utilities report to your credit. So even if you don't have like credit cards and stuff like that to help revolve that credit, but you still want to like get your credit score up and look good, you can have like certain things, like even your, like I have Metro. No, I don't have Metro. I have Mint Mobile, and I only pay it every 3 months, and it still takes that like one payment every 3 months and uses it. Yeah, see, and you're never late on a bill. Most people that have bad credit are never late on their living bills because their bills matter, and that credit card, who gives a shit? Let's be so for real. So that's why I like that it lets you do that now, because it lets you report that you pay your light bill, that you pay your internet, that you pay all kinds of bills on time, and it revolves and it shows as an actual growing report on your credit age. Lots of things. Yep. Like I said, even if your rental company or your landlord either doesn't have an account with the companies that actually push that information out or don't want to create an account, there's ways that you can do it yourself. The one that I was using before I became a person paying a mortgage was like $7 a month, but it was worth it to me because it was like going to end up helping me in the long run. $7, I can do worse to myself for $7 a month. So it was nothing.
In connection with her Bank of America account, the Early Warning Systems class action lawsuit claimed that it had such a record, but it failed to disclose it.
I know. That shit right there. Nobody teaches you this in school. No, nobody does. You got to learn it on your own, which is why it's so disgusting that kids can just go out and get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of freaking dollars of student loans just to be able to better their education, to be a normal person in society with no actual education on what the hell's happening. Like, it's all a scam. It's the biggest freaking scam literally ever. Okay. I want to look at one more thing real quick. I was looking at his crypto wallet. I want to know why in the world his crypto wallet is evidence. Does anybody have any clue, any ideas whatsoever about why in the world Bryan Kohberger's crypto wallet would be being submitted by the state? Anybody have a clue? Like, what could it actually show? Financial motives. His crypto wallet? Well, I mean, I know Steve has been wearing a hex hat. But I also know that there's some channels, and I haven't had time to deep dive into the channels that have talked about it, but I do know the names of a few of them that have dug into and apparently claim to have found Steve Goncalves' crypto wallet out there in the ether. I just haven't watched all of them yet. That's what I mean. Like, alone, it doesn't mean anything to me. And yeah, right here, alone, it doesn't mean shit to me. And then on top of that, like, you have this early warnings record, but if anything with crypto besides like you actually pulling money out of your banking institution or putting money back into your banking institution, like let's say you buy on a dip, you get in, a couple days later something crazy happens, it spikes up, you sell out, and then you made your freaking profit and you pulling it out. But that's really the only time that it would show on a bank account situation. But if that was the connection here, if he was doing some stuff with crypto and making money and ins and outs, and that's why we have this early warning records, why the frick is it being submitted as evidence in a quadruple homicide? Maybe that he bought it with crypto. I mean, if they can freaking prove that, that would be wild. But again, they'd still have to prove that they would have to connect that, but that would be wild. But it's really not freaking anonymous. It's really not anonymous. Like, they have, like, okay, if you get like brokerage sites, like if you get on Robinhood or on crypto.com, which is what we're going to look at, there's also like eToro and First Trade. There's like Gemini. There's like so freaking many. There's so freaking many when it comes to being able to trade crypto. I mean, even Cash App lets you freaking buy stocks in crypto. Okay. Like you can basically get it anywhere. But unless you actually like invest in an actual crypto wallet where there's encryptions and passkeys and like 30 different freaking levels of security, that shit's not anonymous. You literally have to pay for anonymity. You really do. They even have these like I think it's called cold wallets, where it's completely all of your crypto information is kept off the internet in something called a cold wallet. That's like apparently the safest way to do it. PayPal too. Oh, well, thank you. Andrew just gifted 20 memberships. Well, thank you very muchos. And congratulations to everybody who ends up getting a membership. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Nothing is a secret. Nothing is a frippin' secret. I just want to know why it's evidence. Like, why is it evidence? I don't understand. If you have been able to fail, if you failed so far to prove that he was at the location, if you have basically been able to tell us at this point that your so-say eyewitness, who's the most unreliable person on the planet, did not ID him when she took it upon herself to go and look up his mugshot because y'all were taking forever apparently to even show her his face, she went and found it herself and said, yeah, I don't know that dude. I don't recognize that guy. That's not him. Is basically what she said. Now, again, her story and what she said is a whole nother subject for right now. But then we also have DNA that Nancy Grace is freaking lying about once again. And I'm not going to do a whole video talking shit about Disgrace. I'm just going to do a very little, like 5-minute nothing just to prove my point. Because she started her freaking video about the DNA in Maddie's fingernail clippings about how it's not excluded. Bryan Kohberger is not excluded. And I'm like, another one who doesn't read a paper? Like another one who can't read an entire paragraph? I don't understand. And I'd really love to know who her narrator guy is, because the fact that he is such a schlub, it's gross. Like, you can't sit there and be like, no, chick, I read the paper and I know damn well what I'm about to tell these people is a lie. I'm not about to read this shit. Like, why can't he grow some? Yeah, she found the mugshot. She went and found it herself after getting the name, which, oh my freaking Jeebus. Well, no, I was about to say that could freaking really mean that, like, they didn't even know the name for real until after he got back to Idaho, but we know the Goncalveses got contacted. So she probably got called around the exact same time that the Goncalveses were getting called, but she had to wait until he was arrested to even see what was going on. But yeah, she went on her own volition and found it. Thank you for the $4, Rebecca. Thank you for the super sticker. I very much appreciate it. No, share it everywhere. The more people that see that she's a liar, the better, honestly. Because she just, like, was gross. She was so gross. She's always so gross. I just don't understand how she can just lie and then still sleep at night. But I guess after doing it for so long, it's easy, I guess. I don't freaking know. Okay, so I want to show you guys something about this Forest DAX. Because when it comes to Bryan's crypto account, they only have one, and it's crypto.com, and they call it Forest DAX. Okay, when I was looking up a couple of things, it shows that company actually just got sued for biometric privacy violations. Like, they were keeping their clients' biometrics, and I guess it could either be like the face scanning, your fingerprints that you use for security, all that stuff. They were storing that against no one knew. No one knew. And the stupidest part about the whole thing? It's only worth $60. For them to steal these people's biometric data without their permission was only worth between $30 and $60 in a class action lawsuit. Isn't that wild? Thank you for the $4.99, Mama She. I love the name you gave her. Nancy Disgrace is perfect. I know, she's horrible. And she's a disgrace to what she does, because she's not honest. And what she does to these cases is a disgrace. Because it's just gross. Like, be honest. Like, you can still think somebody's guilty and not come out here and lie. Like, you can say that you feel however you feel about somebody that I feel is innocent, but not come out here and lie. It's just wild. Bro, her eyes are always bright red. Bro. I can't stand her. Just cannot stand her. Is it her? Translucent has a video with King Gonzo's crypto wallet, and there is 10 million in there. I'd have to see how she tracked that. That's wild. Well, I mean, you're right. You can't justify feeling he's guilty without lying. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Because nothing leads to that. Like, even we stopped on the freaking Winco thing and was trying to figure it out. And we're like, okay, well, there's no security footage of him. It's not saying of one girl or two girls. It's all the girls, which means that they're just literally looking for literally anything. They're grasping at literally anything. And so what if they happen to have shopped at a Winco? Like, seriously, it's right there where he got pulled over, which is not being submitted as intent or motive or preparation or planning or anything. And that's with the state's own face saying that. And it's a big store next to like the busiest shopping area in Moscow. Of course, probably they ended up shopping at the same freaking store at least once. It doesn't mean literally anything on itself. So again, they're going to have to do more than all this shit that they're trying to say. Okay, right here. Let me show you right here. $30 to $60. And it only went to the Illinois people, which tells me that it didn't just happen in freaking Illinois. It happened to a million other places. And Illinois is the only one that they're allowing out. And the rest of it's going to probably end up coming out later. I've been following class actions and privacy breaches and stuff like that for a super long time. I know how these damn things work. And I know that you have to be actually paying for services that really do tell you whenever your information is breached, or you will not know for at least 6 months. At least 6 months. Like, this is not a sponsored video, and I haven't done an ad for Aura, I think, since like January. Okay. But they're the only sponsor that I've even taken seriously, because the second that I signed up for their like free trial that they gave me, I found out that my AT&T stuff was hacked. And I knew my social security number was hacked. I didn't even get a letter in the mail for months from AT&T after that telling me that my social security number had gotten hacked from the AT&T thing. And I'm like, holy crap. So they just allow this stuff to freaking happen, and then they don't tell you. They tell you nothing. And look at this right here. They violated the BIPA by collecting and storing individuals' biometrics without providing required disclosures and obtaining consent without these people's consent. They just took their freaking information, and it's only worth $60. $60 to the person who it got stolen from. But these freaking companies that stole it made billions. Okay, I promise you that that's what happened. You and everything that you do, from how many times a day that you wipe your nose to how many freaking bottles of water a day that you drink, and if you ever leave your house at 2 p.m. or if you wait till 4, those little bitty things about your life that seem like nothing, that little bitty bit of data that seems irrelevant is worth billions for some stupid big company out there, but it's completely useless to you. And it's wild, okay? And BIPA is basically like HIPAA, but for like digital data, as far as I can understand. It's the Biometric Information Privacy Act. And this company that Bryan Kohberger was using just had to admit that they did this crazy shit. So that's wild too, because how many more crazy things are we going to find out that happened? Not to say that any of that's related, but I just found that interesting as I was going through trying to figure some shit out. I just found it pretty odd. Okay. So let's go back to this list right here. I have this that I've started because I have it written down on a piece of paper somewhere. I remember doing this before because we were trying to see if there were any actual records for Bryan based on like dates that things were filed for the ones that had like blanks. And it's been a long time since I've gone back through the financial records. So I figured since this came up, we can do that now. And we can kind of like put the stuff in here and sort of compare dates. Because at this point, even though we pretty much know that the feds did have Bryan's name at least a few days or so before they ended up giving it over to Moscow on the 19th, we're going to, I guess we have to really use like the 10th. Because the 10th is whenever Author ended up giving everything back to Moscow. I can take this off now. The 10th is whenever everything got sent over to Moscow and the feds ended up taking over the IGG work. But we also know that ISP was doing like their own work too after they did have some stuff about the family tree from Kohberger. So there was technically like 3 genealogical things happening at the same time, if you think about it. Because ISP admitted in the transcripts that they were doing their own family tree stuff after they ended up getting some information from Othram, but before the 10th. So there should be actually 3. So I wonder if the defense actually pulled, or I guess that's what they wanted. I guess that's one of the big things they were actually asking for was what ISP did on their stuff. So they would have to be having somebody look at all 3 reports like that. That's pretty crazy. Okay. Let's go one at a time. And the first one that we come across, let me see if I can get this to show the date. Okay. The first one that we came across was filed for public access to view on 2/27, but they were all way before that. So for these, we already know that we have to go down to the formatting, which is right here. So this is for Wells Fargo. Does it say? Okay. Okay, so, okay, I remember this one being sort of interesting because there was an additional person. Okay. And what was this date? 1/4/23. So this was after arrest. Okay, let's add this to the list. So we have, for sure. Oh, you know what? I don't want it right there like that. Yeah, I do, I guess. If I don't want it like that later, I'll change it. Don't want it like that. And it was 1/4/23. Oh, wait, no, I read that wrong. I'm dumb. That's the day that he signed it, but what day was it? Okay, November. See, that changes things. I'm glad I went back and looked. So it's signed on 1/4/23, but it was obtained on 11/28/22, and the information came back on 12/30/22. That's way before they had Bryan's information. So that means that Wells Fargo has an unknown. Maybe I'm going to change the way that I do this right here. Yeah, let me do it this way, and then I'll change it after the fact. So we have all... We have Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee. And then 3 unknowns. So... Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana. 3 unknowns. And it was the 28th? Is it the 28th? Served on the 28th. Dang, it took them a month. Served on the 28th, and they didn't get it back until the day that they actually went and got him. That's cray-cray. That's cray-cray. Okay, what was it again? 11/28 and 12/30. I gotta remember that. Okay, 11/28. Back on 12/30. That's wild as shit. That's wild. Papa George, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Congratulations to those of you who ended up getting those. Okay, so yeah. So I'm going to assume Dylan, Bethany, and who else? Did we ever figure? I doubt we ever figured this out. There's really like no way to ever be sure who this is that they were looking for on this one. There really just isn't. We just know it's one more person than was supposed to have been in that house, and it was prior. It was served prior. I wonder if they amended it. You think they amended it? I wonder if that's possible, that they ended up sending in something later and they amended it, and maybe it is for Bryan too. Even though it was served prior, I doubt it. I'm just thinking out loud. Ignore that. Okay, and this is showing the search warrant. I'm going to put another column right here, I guess. Okay, so we can get rid of Wells Fargo. Now we have the Umpqua Bank. Umpqua Bank. This one was... Wait, okay, again before. 11/19, they obtained it. 11/21 and 11/22. So I guess they sent it off and they emailed it on 2 separate dates. And they got the information back on 11/23. Who was it for? The same 6 unknown people. I mean, the same 4, but then 3 unknown people. Can you kind of see right here? Is that an X or a K for a first name? Can anybody see that? I mean, I guess it could be a D or a B. But this looks like it. I don't know what this could be. I never noticed before there was like a little bit of a letter. Huh. Okay. So we have, again, and what was the date? Served on 11/21 and returned Okay. On to the next one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this one and I'm going to see if there's any financial institutions listed in the search warrants that's not listed in the stuff the state is actually submitting as evidence and vice versa. So I wanted to just like do that live with you guys because why not? Why not just do it all together? Okay, so then we have Potlatch. There was so Moscow Police Department and Potlatch Police Department like share a building together, it looks like too. Potlatch number 1 Financial Credit Union. Okay. So I have to admit, if I see that they sent off a search warrant to a bank, and instead of getting a simple email back with the information, they get an entire freaking USB drive, wouldn't you assume that that was a shit ton of information? Put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like them getting a USB drive means that it's a shit ton of information coming back from this bank. Because that's a lot. I can see why it couldn't have just been in an email. Yeah. I really am curious about why it's a whole freaking USB drive. Because you can get them like in pretty big sizes. That's kind of wild. And the same people, the same with the 3 unfreaking knowns. I know what you told me. Shh. I can't say everything that you tell me though, so don't come over here saying that. You already know this. I know this. We're going off the black and white, okay? I want to know who these other people are. That's what I want to know. And I'm just going to assume that Dylan and Bethany are 2 of people, but it still leaves one person that doesn't exist in real life. Like, who is this other person? Who's this other person? I want to know. So we have these unknowns again. And it was served on 11/28. And 12/9. Slate's birthday. 12/9/22. So far, we really don't have anything at all prior to arrest. Okay. So we don't need the Idaho Department of Labor. We do need Idaho Central Credit Union. Okay. Still, okay, so let's see. See, but this, I don't think this is true either. We talked about this too, and we thought for a long time that that was the case. And what we were told in a documentary is that Ashlyn Couch moved out way before this because Xana apparently is the one who took over her lease. Do you guys remember hearing that in one of the thingamabobbers documentaries? The one about, or maybe it was like an interview. I recall that, like, very specifically, that they came out and said that Ashlyn Couch, her lease got taken over by Xana. So she wouldn't have been a sixth person on the lease, right? She wouldn't have been the sixth person. And that room, the bottom room that was next to Bethany's room, was basically being used as a storage room. It wasn't cleaned out. It was not cleaned out like somebody was going to be moving into it or whatever. It was basically like the owner was just letting them use it for storage. That's where we saw the golf clubs and stuff in the photos. But she wouldn't have been still on the lease if Xana took over the lease. Like, Xana would have, like, had to do paperwork and all the things. That's how she made it seem. Like it was Xana took over the lease so that the lease didn't have to be broken. No, Ashlyn said it. Like the girl herself in an interview. Or it was either an interview or one of the documentaries where they came out and they were talking about the foundation that they put together. It was about the foundation. And that's when she said that she had moved out and Xana had taken over her lease. So she said that her portion of it ended May 2022. So yeah, that's still months and months before. Yeah. So if we give either one of those any stance, they both lead to Ashlyn is not the person. So I'm going to just assume, because they've redacted Dylan and Bethany's names to this day, that Dylan and Bethany's probably this one and this one, possibly, even though this is a very strange little two top and bottom marker points for a name, I guess, but I guess it could be D or B for Dylan and Bethany. I don't know, but still, who the frick is this? So here we have this other unknown, and it has, again, nothing to do with Kohberger because it was way before he ever existed to anyone. Okay, and what was the dates on this one? Mostly everything was 11/28, it seems. Oh, I wonder if we're going to be able to ever see the early warning report. I wonder if it has, like, it says records, right? Ooh, I just hit that microphone. I probably deafened y'all. Sorry. I'm sorry. I need to move it over, I guess, a little bit. Okay. Yeah, let's see. It's plural. Records. It's plural, but it's just one file. And notice that, like, everything else pretty much has, like, hard drive provided, or the date that they got it. There's nothing for that one, for this one. It's actually, like, when it comes to Bryan stuff, they actually don't have that. But I guess it's because it's his stuff. The state would have already had it first, I guess. I don't know. Some of these have dates that they got the information and some of them don't, which I still find interesting. But regardless, this is a plural. It's not early warning report or early warning record. It's records. So it could be for literally all of them. I don't know. And maybe they ended up getting that first before they ended up filing all these individual ones. Because like I said, if it shows transactions in every little bitty thing, you literally would only have to get that one report for literally anybody. And then you go and do all the rest after the fact if you feel like it. But if it really shows transactions and possible fraudulence, then maybe you really don't need much else, actually. Okay, so 11/28. Let's put that in here. Is that to say that it came back on the same day? No. Okay, so the next one is Elan Financial Services. Is there even like a bank like that close to them? Like, what is this? There's apparently one like in the DFW area somewhere. Brookshire Bank. Moscow? No, not Moscow, Russia. Jeebus. I'm not pulling up a location in Moscow, Idaho for this bank. Pullman, Washington, maybe? Mm-mm. How strange. Hold on. It's a card. Like, I clicked on it. I clicked on... maybe that's not even the right one. Who freaking knows, honestly? Financial services? It just goes to this. Oh, shit, it's not showing anymore. Hold on. St. Louis, Missouri. It says St. Louis, Missouri on that one, and it says Minnesota on this one. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a bank, if it's a credit card. Financial services. Credit card program, prepaid rewards, corporate payment system. Elon provides corporate and virtual credit cards and payment services that reduce costs. Okay, so my hospitals get virtual credit card payments for whenever bills need to get paid for patients. For banks, for credit unions. What? It's a partner program. This is almost like a credit card, like... I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Is this for a bank to have a credit card for their bank to give out to customers? And like, this is like the financial services middleman? Right, but this is like not for you to get an Elon Financial Services freaking credit card. This is like a company that plays the middleman for in the middle, right? Okay, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Like, it's a company that like gives you the ability to have credit cards at your bank. So I guess they would only actually have to file one for this one to get what, everyone's credit card information? I guess like they have one for like all the big player banks, I guess. Client Resource Center, Elon Partners only, card members. So they do have a card system. Yeah, it's like credit. Okay, it's credit cards. Well, okay. Oh, if this stupid thing doesn't stop turning off, it's gonna get on my nerves. Okay. So let's see now how many. Probably the same. Let's see. Oh, did you see that it was freaking blank? Did I skip it? I didn't skip it. I skipped it. Or is it not there? Oh, it's only for Kaylee. I did go too fast. Okay, so it's only for Kaylee. I'm gonna get rid of some of these tabs. So I'll type in Elon Financial Services only Kaylee. And it was served 12/22, and they got it back the next day. I missed something. I saw something. Welcome, Lisa Marie. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So this is what we have so far. That's what we're doing so far. Okay. So let's go to the next one, which would be not eBay. Dropbox, no. Discover Bank. Discover. So I'll just type in Discover. If I know how to spell it. Let's see. Here we go again. All of them and 3 unknowns. I know damn well that I Control-C, Control-V that, so quit playing. I think it said 12/9/22 again. I don't remember. Yeah, 12/9. RV gifted 5. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gracias. Congratulations to those of you who end up getting those. Okay. So let's go on to the next one. That's Coeur d'Alene. That's Charter Communications. That's Blue Ridge Knives. Block, I'm considering a financial institution because it's Square. And I used Square whenever I was a notary, and I had that little like actual Square that plugged into your system. You can swipe cards and stuff with it. I don't know what else you can do with it. I know you can like transfer payments and use it like virtually as like a credit card. Whatchamacallit, a lot of businesses use it on tablets. What the frick? If this thing does not stop turning off, like I'm going to throw a fit and they're going to give me a refund for the month if it keeps pissing me off because I'm not playing with them. Okay. Cash App. So it's specific. I did forget that. Okay. So we're going to leave it at Square, but I'm going to add Cash App to the name. And all of them plus 3 unknowns again. I forgot how many were like this. I completely forgot how ridiculous this was. Okay, what are the dates? 11/19, they got it back 11/20. That didn't take very long. Oh, I need to move these up. Ooh, why are those on the wrong line? Oh. Okay. Okay, what's the next one? Banner Ban. Is this Banner Bank? This is Banner Bank. This one has like a Spokane, Washington address. I'm sure they have one in Moscow, though. I'm yawning everywhere tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I was up until like 5 o'clock this morning because my son has been, yeah, they do have one. My son has been putting together a computer, well, has been buying parts for a computer, and he wanted to start putting it together because his screwdriver set finally came in, and we were up until like 5 o'clock. And then I got up at like 11 and then I couldn't fall back to sleep. So I'm tired. But I wanted to look at this because it was like stuff I was thinking about. But they do have one in, they have a bank, a Banner Bank in Moscow. So let's see if it's the same people. Again, prior. Yep. So here's my question at this point. And I know we probably talked about this, but I didn't do lives ever to where I could like actually like converse with people. And it's been a long time since we talked about these damn bank accounts. Okay. Let me figure out how to, I guess, okay. Is this like verification that every freaking person on this actually has a bank account at these banks? Like, is that what this is really like alluding to? Or are they sending this off for like just in cases? Because they're very specific. And so I don't really quite know. I just don't know. Like, it feels like they would know without a doubt that these people held bank accounts there. Or are they just like assuming which banks to actually like file search warrants for? Because they're not filing search warrants for like every major bank ever. Or like, is this them like going through their information maybe and like reading, like seeing how many debit cards they have maybe? Okay, I know they're trying to find a connection, but are they filing these specific search warrants to these specific banks for all these names because they know for a fact that these people actually do have bank accounts there? Because if they're pulling an early warnings reports, an early warning record, and it's multiple records because it's obviously a plural, they would kind of like know what kind of banks they have. See, that's what I was about to say. Like, is that maybe where they got it from? They did the EWS, and then this information came back, and they're like, damn, they have all these freaking bank accounts. Look how many freaking files we have to send out. Because for Elon Financial Services so far, that's the only one that's Kaylee. Everything else has all of them. That's what I thought too. Like, you would assume that they would actually have like proof that they would have to have a bank account. I just don't know. Yeah, they did make like comments about her bank accounts and stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely not Bryan's stuff. Well, thank you. We try to keep it pretty copacetic over here. We really do try. It's everywhere. Oh, you're over there by the lab. You're over there by Othram. Should go on a covert mission. No, I tried that. Couldn't find the damn building. I looked everywhere. I drove around forever trying to figure that out. My map kept telling me it was in one place. Then we'd get there and I'd look up some more information and it told me that location was actually previously closed. So then I went to another location and it was everywhere. And then whenever we did find the building, there was no like labels or anything anywhere. It just kept telling me that Othram was definitely in the building, but it wasn't labeled. It was wild. It was a fun day, fun time. Me and the kids went on a little adventure trying to find Othram that day. Yeah, the Woodlands is nice though. I like the Woodlands. It's very nice. I like it there. Okay. So I guess we're going to just do the same thing here. Banner Bank. I want to know who this additional person is. It's really interesting. What if it's the frickin' whatchamadoodler? The driver. What if it's the driver? What if they're looking into his financial records? I don't trust that dude. I don't trust nothing to do with that guy anymore. I don't trust him. Something's fishy. Something's weird. I don't know why he didn't tell us that he knew Dylan. He was so gung-ho about telling us he knew everybody else, but didn't want to say anything about knowing Dylan. Okay, so 11, 28, and then 12, 1. Or I guess whoever that main suspect is, because, you know, I still need to go and do that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, that text message is interesting. And then just to know like the rest of his background, I'm like, okay, yeah, something's really just not good with this guy. So I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know. But I would love to know who that main suspect was. I still need to go back to my live and see which document it had that in there. Because it's never we were going over the documents live. Okay, Bank of America. And I guess I need to go in and do a clip of whenever they stated in the autism doc that the information was bullshit lies about him getting fired from WSU because there was an investigation and he got cleared of all that stuff. So there's that. We're going to have to go and clip that stuff and make sure that people get that part of that document too. Be Shelligant. That's pretty cool. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Joes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see who Bank of America is for. You might hear my almost 7-year-old stomping in there because he's watching superhero stuff on TV and likes to jump off the couch when he sees them flying. And who am I to stop him from trying to fly? He jumped a little bit, like I guess a microsecond too long earlier today when he was jumping around something in the kitchen. He was like, oh, I flew because I didn't land right away. And I was like, okay, you flew. Just let him believe it. Just let him believe it. Okay, this one was 121 of 22 and 12/6 of 22. And how many people was it for? The same suspects. Okay, next. Okay, that's AT&T. That's Apple. We already know these are all for the victims. American Express. Let's see. See who it's for before I get the dates. So it looks like there's whiteout down here. But this could just be like really crappy printing. I don't know why there's commas after their names. I don't know why there's commas after their names. Unless they were trying to like put everybody's names on the same line, but that doesn't make sense either. Or it's account numbers that they knew of. And look who gets the info. The feds. So for this one, we can really only say it's the 4. It's after arrest, though. So even after, okay, so after arrest, oh, no, I lied. They served it on November 28th, and they didn't get it back until after arrest. I was about to say, dang, okay, so they even got him in custody, and they still didn't even bother? That's wild. Okay, so no, it's just for the 4. Okay. What was the dates again? 11/28 and back on 1/13. That's wild. It's a long freaking time. Was it another USB? But you see this right here. It says it was served, and it's talking about how it's supposed to be coming from Mallory right here, but then says Mallory is the one who ended up getting the information from Federal Agent Douglas, because Federal Agent Douglas was the one who actually ended up getting the information. So I can pretty much bet you they probably got this info back within a few days. And the Fed dude didn't even turn it into Moscow until after they already had Bryan back in Idaho. So once again, more proof that the Feds are getting the information first, not the freaking lead department or the lead agency. Moscow is not getting anything first. Everything was filtered through the Feds. Wild. Pathetic. Pathetic. Let's be for real. Oh, it did it again. It's just gonna make me mad. Okay. Is this like at 100? Sure the frick is. Okay, so that was American Express. Is there names on this stuff? No. I forgot about these. They don't actually have names on them. We're not going to go through these right now. Let's see if there's any more. So, Yahoo, Walmart, Verizon, United Parcel Service. We went back through that one. Okay, Umpqua Bank. So I guess I'm going to have to go back and open the other one and see what the differences are with this one. Because we already have Umpqua Bank. Prior to Bryan. A security video. Is Umpqua Bank in Friendship Square? Is that where the Adam video came from? 609 South Washington Street. Is that where the Adam video came from? Let me go to Google. So it's right here. It is sort of like in that Friendship Square spot. This is the bank right here. Because like I said before about the Adam video, I've tried to find a version of it that has the let me try to do something real quick. I've tried to find a version of it that has the damn timestamp. And I can't find one. Oh, yeah, maybe not. Damn, is that that's a little... Hold on, let me see if I can get the address to where the grub truck is. Usually located, or did they move it? I don't know if they moved it. They move around. Does anybody remember what business the grub truck was parked in front of? I mean, I can look later. But the Corner Club is up here. And I mean, it says it's an 8-minute walk, which isn't really bad. They would have had to have crossed through like underneath the highway, crossed back at some point or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's why I was always like wondering what timestamp. The Corner Club's up here. Get rid of this thing. It doesn't let me get rid of all of it. Okay. Well, now it just took away everything I wanted. Hold on. Corner Club, Moscow. YouTube unsubscribes you and locked you out? Locked you out of what? Locked you out of YouTube? That's a bit cray-cray. Okay, so... Okay, there we go. I'm trying to like move it without it moving me. Okay. So the Corner Club is up here. And the security camera building, I think, is back down here. Hold on, this thing is acting like really dumb. Let me get this tab back. No, that's the right address. 609 South Washington. American Insurance. I think this is it right here. This is the Umpqua Bank. So they have... I'm going to add that to this part up here. Because they have Umpqua Bank record search warrants. So I'm going to put right here that there was security video. what was the date of the warrant? 11/21, and they got it back on 11/23, still prior. I guess I'd have to go back in and look at whenever mainstream media released the Adam video. Oh, okay. I guess that was you that left that comment earlier then. That's wild. YouTube doesn't like that I'm speaking facts, I guess. Because all we're doing is reading documents. I'm not making up anything. Well, thank you for joining, Gemini71. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so they got the... I'm going to use... Oh, it's the same dates. Wow. So go back. They did the same... It's the same date. So on the same day that they got... Oh my gosh. Okay. The same day that they did a search warrant for the records, they also did a search warrant for the security video. So that definitely tells me that they knew for a fact somebody had a bank account there. For sure. Bigger. Okay. Oh. Okay. That's all it says, right? Just security video. Okay. So let's go back to her. Let's snap. We can do PayPal, Venmo. And remember, we went through a couple of like Venmo transactions that I had like seen other people talking about. And that's whenever Heather also went in and found that car on the Linda Lane. It looks like it possibly could be a delivery person. And there was transactions on Venmo the night before for Domino's, for pizza between Ethan and Xana. And then we had the Domino's boxes on the back. And what Jeff said about them being home. Now, I didn't find anywhere where he actually said that they were eating pizza, but it could have been said to somebody else. I don't know. But it was just kind of strange that all of that kind of like went together. Not to say that it actually was valid. It was just some really coincidental shit that we were like, wow, that's kind of awkwardly insane. Okay, so this one has all of the usual, including the 3 unknown. Damn, I want to know who it is. And what was the date? Boomer. Quit it. Yeah. Okay. 11/19. And then. Is it the same one? Did it do it like that again? Look, it happened like that again. So the warrant was served on 11/19 by Mowry. And freaking Douglas is the one who ended up getting the information on 11/21. And he didn't even send it over to Mowry for weeks. Look at that. Look at the dates. What's he doing holding on to that information for so long? I guess I need to be putting that information in here too. When it actually came back versus when the freaking Moscow people actually had it. My gosh, just let me freaking type it in. Okay. And then MPD received from FBI on the date. 12/12. That's wild, bro. I'm going to have to go in and make a line for that on the other one too. That's cray-cray. And what was the other one? Was it just like the very last one that we did, right? Or was that the Umpqua security one? Let me see. Nope. American Express. It was American Express. Okay. Now I do know, I've heard at least that on college campuses, they will have like credit card people come in and try to get a bunch of students to just like sign up for a bunch of credit cards. So if every single one of the people that were in that house had an American Express credit card, that's probably what it was from. From just like a recruiter that came out to the school and just had like a whole bunch of kids sign up within the same day. I've heard that happens a lot. Okay, so American Express. It's actually not true. MPD received from FBI 113-23. But they actually got it back on 11/28. Okay. All right, let's see if there's any more. And then we can start comparing it. Oh, here we go again. Then we can start comparing it to the other list. K-Bar, Inland, Google, Extreme Networks, DoorDash, Washington, Verizon, TikTok, Google. TikTok, Strava, Snap, Reddit, Google, AT&T. That might be it. Let me just make sure, guys. I don't remember there being another drop of search warrants. I could be wrong. I just want to make sure I'm not missing one because I want to go back and look at the list and see what's missing. Because what did we already see was missing? Ridge Road. They claim in the email that we already saw in the defendant's motion about the make and model of the car that there is like an email reference to 1125 Ridge Road being a good one or some shit like that. And the Ridge Road address security camera isn't even in like the address of the information that the state themselves is filing as like self-authenticating. So if they're going to try to submit it later as something that's not considered self-authenticating, like, is that possible? I don't see how you would be able to do that considering that it's like security footage. It's like, you know what the frick it is because of what it is. Like, you don't need an explanation. But I don't know, because I don't know how the frick they always play games. They play a lot of games. Okay. Well, I don't think anything got released. Oh, I was wrong. Let me go down and make sure. I just saw some stuff. Okay, no, it was these. These were wild to go through. That was for show. That might be everything. Okay. If I don't stop yawning, I'm going to scream. But then at least I'll probably be awake. Okay. So let's get off of that one now and let's focus on give me 1 second. Okay, so let's see what's on this. And I'll do footage as blue and we'll go from there. So we've got 1320, come on now. 1320 Linda Lane. 1330 Linda Lane. And remember when we went live, we went through these and pulled them up on the map. The Clarkston, Washington, Albertsons. Okay, so now we have the Amazon financial and user records for Bryan. I don't think I want to add that as like a financial situation because it's not a financial institution. It's more like his shopping records. So we'll do green for shopping records for both the defendant and the victims, just to make it like color coded. So then we have phone records. We'll do yellow. Oh no, that stupid alarm. As y'all can tell, I didn't change it. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work right now. Okay. I just want the 1A, broski. Okay, there it is. Okay. Surveillance of the bagel shop. Why do you hate me? Okay. Jeez. Can I make this a little bit bigger? Yeah, I can. Okay. So now we have Bank of America records for Bethany and Xana. So whenever we look back at the Bank of America records, they actually asked for everyone. So is the return info? Okay, let's see. State submitted. Bethany and Xana. And I guess that's going to have to be a special color, but I'll do that later. And it needs to be green. Why are banking records of Bethany needed? Like some of these things, I'm really just like, why? I just don't know. Okay, then we have Banner Bank for just Ethan. So let's go over here. I am going to have to color code this later. It's going to drive me insane until I fix it later. Anyway. Okay, so then surveillance from Cafe Arista. Corner Club surveillance. Shopping records is what color? Oh no, wait. I need to change the bank color. I guess it'll be pink. Because it's different than this other stuff. Okay. And then financial shopping records is green. And we'll do that for the Corner Club financial transactions. Okay. Costco surveillance is blue. Ugh, student records. I guess I'll leave that one alone for right now. Or maybe everything for Bryan should be a special color. You know what? I didn't think that through very well. And I only have a certain amount of colors, as you can see. Does it show you? No, it doesn't freaking show you. I only have 5 colors. So I'll just leave the student stuff alone for right now. Okay. Financial records from the sporting good place. Oh, I'm not even showing it to you guys. Okay. And then we finally have another financial, and it's Discover Financial for Kaylee. What did this show for Discover? Okay, so they only submitted Kaylee. And then here we have the DoorDash records for Xana and Ethan. And that is green for spending transactions. Okay, I'm going to do green for... No, I'm not. I'm going to do pink for the early warning because it is financial related. So then we have Elon financial records for Kaylee. So far, that's the only one that's stayed the same. So far. I guess I should separate these like one Mogen. That way it doesn't drive me crazy. Okay. ENS Services. That is the business where they got some surveillance footage in Pullman. Farmers Insurance is more surveillance video in Pullman. Floyd's Cannabis is surveillance video. Crypto. Which why? I just don't understand. Why do they need, even if he were the dude, what the frick does crypto have to do with anything? Like, that would make it some like hella deeper shit. Okay. But then again, whatever the freaking truth of this case is going to be, regardless of how it goes, there's no one on the planet that could write what's going to end up being the truth here. This is going to be like not even a joke, like for the history books. They're going to know about this case for centuries to come. I feel like. Okay. Harbor Freight is just surveillance records, like business and surveillance records. So I'm guessing that it's both. That's not the right color. It's like what they sold and some surveillance camera a little bit. I guess we'll do like this. Business. I don't freaking know. Okay. Idaho Central Credit Union. For Maddie. Why do you do this to me? Okay. One more again. Come on. Why does it do this? Oh my gosh, this is going to get on my nerves. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not going to be able to just like move forward until I fix it. Hold on. Try one more time. Ah, got it. Bazinga. Okay. Indian Mountain Hills. That's the parents' place. Jones Fabric is just still another one that is just like for freaking why. For freaking why. And for who. And for what. And for where. We don't know. I'm going to leave the Latah County stuff alone. It doesn't need its own color. Marshall's financial records. So no security footage of him walking around Marshall's, just like 3 different batches of receipts, it looks like, I guess. Okay, okay, Numerica Bank for Kaylee is not, we don't have a Numerica Bank on here. We do not have a Numerica Bank. Is Numerica known as anything else? It says it's a credit union. It serves Spokane, Tri-Cities, and Wenatchee Valley. Okay. But we don't have a, what you call it for that. Unless I know I didn't skip it. Like, we went through it. And the only other credit union is this Potlatch #1 financial credit union. There was another one in Idaho Central Credit Union. So we don't have Numerica. No search warrant. Not that I've seen anyway. And it looks like there's, like, I'm just going to assume common sense would tell me these are 3 different files because they end in different numbers. So 3 batches of files of bank records for Kaylee. So then we have PayPal, Venmo, financial records. It doesn't say for who though. Again, it's 3 separate files. So I'm just going to put state submitted 3 files because it doesn't have names. Okay, so then we have PNC bank records for Bryan Kohberger. So we don't have a warrant for that one either. A search warrant. Nothing came out for that one. What was it just called? PNC Bank. States submitted. Kohberger. No search warrant. Okay, so that's internet one. I don't really care about that one right now. Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union for Bryan. And again, looks like 3 files. 3 separate files. Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union. PA State Employee Credit Union. State submitted Bryan Kohberger. No search warrant. Petco financial records. I guess that would be buying stuff, which again, why do we need to know what Kaylee bought at Petco? Why is something that Kaylee bought at Petco part of evidence from the state? I don't understand that. Rite Aid financial records. Ross financial records. Again, it doesn't say for who at all. Sunset Mart in Moscow, and then Sunset Mart in Pullman. And again, Target. Doesn't say for who, but there is 4 records. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 4 people at least, we got Target records. So that would lead me to believe that the Rite Aid records, it's 1 file, and the Ross records is 1 file. And so is the Joann's Fabrics. And it looks like they got 3 receipts or 3 purchases altogether for Bryan at Marshall's. Okay, and then we have, okay, that's social media, that's TikTok. But this is also like, why? Why do we need to know what Dylan bought at freaking TJ Maxx? Like, that's, I'm never going to not ask how the frick that's important. I just don't understand. Okay, so then we have Umpqua for Dylan. And that's interesting. Because then we just see that Umpqua was supposed to only be for Kaylee a second ago. Was I wrong on that one? I might be wrong on that one. Okay, so Umpqua is also the one where there's a security video. State submitted Dylan Mortensen. I think it's Ian, right? I always misspell like the last letter. I think it's Ian. Let me make sure. I don't want to spell it wrong. Yeah. Yeah, it's an E. I always forget. So we have a warrant served for all 4 and 3 unknowns, but only Dylan's banking records is getting submitted by the state. But again, why is Dylan's banking records and what she's buying at TJ Maxx getting submitted to by the state as evidence? It is? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I always end up saying like the O. I just don't understand why that's needed. I don't understand. They're going to have to make that make some shit sense. Okay, so now he went to Under Armour and bought some clothes. 1 transaction is how that seems. Then we have surveillance footage from the chef store in Clarkston. That's literally on, in the PCA. Ulta financial records, and it's 1 purchase. Who? Why do we need somebody's makeup records? I don't understand that. There's a Verizon records. Okay, then we have Walmart. Okay, so we've got financial transactions, Walmart for Bryan, and also security footage. So we'll do blue and green. This is the Department of Motor Vehicles surveillance video. So this would be just 5 days after. And it looks like they've got two different files, probably 2 different cameras, 2 different angles. His registration documents. Okay. Washington Trust. And remember, we were saying, like, why are we not seeing any freaking financial records for Bryan Kohberger? Because they never showed us a single search warrant. Washington State Bank. State submitted. Bryan Kohberger. I'm still putting like I'm just putting like no search warrant because obviously they would have to have a search warrant to have the information, but there's no public search warrant. And we don't really have anything to show that we've ever like seen anything when it came to his stuff, like literally at all. Okay, Wells Fargo bank account records for Maddie. Again, why do we need the financial records for one of the victims being submitted by the state? Like, what is the state going to say about Maddie Mogen's spending records? Did we not even have? Yeah, we did. I was about to say, what the shit? It was the first one. State submitted. Maddie Mogen. Okay. Financial records for Winco. And then financial records and video surveillance for the girls at Winco. Oh, you can't even see it's blue. We'll do it like this. Washington State University surveillance, parking records. Okay. Well, I'm pretty glad that we did that because we've got some newer information that was not on the search warrants before. And I know that we've gone through it already, but now we get to actually like look at it and see the differences. So we had Wells Fargo submitted for all of them plus some unknown people, but the state only submitted Maddie Mogen's information. Then we have Umpqua Bank that was submitted for all 4 of the victims plus 3 unknowns. The state only submitted one of the surviving roommates' banking information, be it Dylan Mortensen, and they also, at the same time that they filed a search warrant for the records on 11/21, they also filed for the security video, telling me that whatever they're looking for, they must know of certain times that they must have gone in and out, or at least Dylan. I'm just assuming Dylan went in and out of that bank because she's the only person whose records are being submitted. But I don't think it's actually said it. Did it actually say anything about that? Let me look at the blue. There's no Umpqua surveillance video submitted so far. There's not any surveillance footage submitted from the bank so far. Okay. So they requested it, but they didn't get anything that was worth a shit, I guess. But again, they only submitted as evidence to submit at trial for some freaking reason Dylan Mortensen's banking records. Then we have Potlatch Financial Credit Union. I didn't see anything on that list that said anything about that bank, but I'm almost wondering if they technically count as Numerica. Let me see something. Potlatch and Numerica Bank. Maybe not. No, it's credit union. No, they are not this. They're not like the same entity using 2 names or anything like that. They really are 2 different things. So we have so far, because there might be more stuff later, but for right now, we don't have anything from Potlatch and nothing from the Idaho Central Credit Union. Now, Elon Financial Services is the only one that was only submitted for Kaylee, and the state got whatever they got from it, and whatever they got, they're turning into the state. Again, why what about the finances of the victims is so important, because it's not just the victims' financial records. It's stuff that the surviving people are doing too, like shopping at TJ Maxx. I'm going to keep on just repeating that. Why do we need to know what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx? Somebody make it make some sense. Discover card, they did for all of them, plus the 3 unknowns, and only submitted Kaylee's information. We don't say anything at all being submitted for Square, Cash App. Banner Bank was done for all of them, but only came back for Ethan. And well, Ethan is the only information that was submitted. And then Bank of America, all of them were asked for, and Bethany and Xana's was submitted. American Express, there wasn't anything submitted on the list. PayPal has 3 files being submitted by the state, but no names for who it could be, and it could be 7 people. So we don't know who, or somebody else. They could have filed something afterwards that we just haven't seen. Because here's the Numerica one submitted for Kaylee, PNC Bank for Bryan, PA State Employee Credit Union for Bryan, and then Washington State Bank for Bryan. And then we also have, I guess I'll just go ahead and I'll add the crypto thing too to that. Where to go? Forestax, crypto.com. Wait a minute. Yeah, Forestax, crypto.com. So we finally do have proof of financial information for Bryan Kohberger, because people have been wondering, me too, for a freaking long time, why do we not have anything? Why do we have nothing whatsoever? So I don't know what any of this stuff means though. Like, I don't know why certain things are in here. It's really difficult for me to understand why some of these things are necessary. Oh, we got some creepos in here. I know I've had a big super fan lately, but I'm not giving him a lick of my attention. I mean, a lot of people probably do think that he did go and he got a bunch of fabric, but that would be like a huge amount of planning to go in and do that. And then also, like, a bunch of people probably think that he went and bought stuff at Harbor Freight, but it's just security footage and doesn't really say anything else. Or did it also say, okay, yeah, business surveillance, but it also doesn't say who it's for. So it could be somebody who, you know, lived in the house, bought something to freaking fix the house with, or who knows? Maybe it's where Jeff bought the lock that didn't actually get changed that everyone misheard. No, there's Walmart footage, Twiz. There's Walmart footage. Yeah. Walmart surveillance and financial transaction records for Bryan, not the girls. And I know that there was a situation with Kaylee at a Walmart, I believe. Something like that. Well, I mean, maybe they did look at a couple other places, Blue Ridge Knives, Amazon, eBay. I mean, we kind of thought that it was maybe just like a handful of local ones, but then Ann Taylor came out in court and said that there was like basically so many freaking more than we had access to the records for the search warrants when it came to where it was looked for the knife. Hey, Bri. I don't know. I don't know. What does their banking records have to do with why they died? What does what Dylan bought at freaking TJ Maxx have to do with why they died? Let's ask that question. Let's ask that question. Why does what Dylan freaking Mortensen bought at TJ freaking Maxx belong as evidence in a quadruple homicide case? That makes no sense. Thank you, Kane, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, there's Walmart. Here, I'll pull it back up. It's right here. Walmart surveillance and financial records for Bryan, not for the girls. No, we don't know who it was. We just know somebody was shopping at Joann's Fabric Series right here at the top. I don't want to like click on it. It might mess up the color, but look right here. Joanne's. And that's like the weird ones. Like Joanne's being blank, okay. But why do we need to know Bethany's banking records? Like, what do their freaking banking records have to do with anything? What is it going to show? What is it going to freaking show? I just don't. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I just don't understand some of these. Costco. That's just the whatever footage. And like again, like Harbor Freight, like not having a name, like okay, it might be surveillance footage of whatever. But why do we need to know what Kaylee bought at freaking Petco for Murphy? Why? Yeah, but the girl's transactions with no accompanying security footage or no accompanying transactions from Bryan doesn't even match. I don't even believe that the DoorDash food was Jack in the Box. I never have. That shit looks so crusty, dusty, and rusty. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. I just don't know. Murphy in a ski mask. Heather quit. I just don't know. That's why it's like hard to say, oh, and all these Target financial records must be for Bryan. Oh, he must have actually went to Jones Fabric and got something and sewed a suit together. You can't say that because they're admitting things that make no sense, like what Kaylee freaking bought for her freaking dog at Petco. And somebody buying makeup. And what Dylan, this is not like, I'm not making shit up. This is just insane to me. Why do we need to know what Dylan bought at freaking TJ Maxx? I need somebody to understand why we need to know what Dylan freaking bought at TJ Maxx. Somebody make that shit make sense. Are they all in that one area? Let's see. They probably are all in the same freaking area. I'm pretty positive they are. But even then, like them just saying financial records of whatever Dylan Mortensen bought at TJ Maxx, what does that prove when it comes to Bryan Kohberger? That's my point. Like, this is a state trying to submit evidence when it comes to, like, the person that they want charged for this. And, what the frick does Dylan have to do with it? What does her shopping have to do with it? Okay, yeah, so Ulta Beauty is right here. Oh, is it showing you guys? Nope, sure the frick isn't. Hold on. Okay, here it goes. Let me make this smaller. Okay, so here's Ulta right here. And here's Marshall's right here. And here is Target. Here's the Wally Mart. And see, this is like the area that Bryan got pulled over at because it was on the corner of Farm and like the highway. And if you see like Perimeter Drive right here turns into Farm Road, and they act like it's like in this spot right here. But the Winco is also right back here next to Ulta. So it is like all together. And like Rite Aid is even like right here. Right? Like that's, I get it. Like they're all together. But what the frick do I need to know what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx for? Why? There's no camera footage for TJ Maxx to show that somebody was following her. Just like Ulta financial records, there's no accompanying footage to say that somebody was following them around the store or was at the store at the same time as they were buying something. Same thing with Target. It's Target financial records, but no accompanying surveillance footage. And Petco, again, why the frick do we need to know what she bought for him at freaking Petco? Where's Petco? Hold on, let me find it. Petco is probably in the same location. Pretty much, it's next to Marshall's. Right here. I mean, this is also like a big shopping area. Time of purchase. Maybe they're that day. Maybe it's like a timeline for the day itself. I mean, some people might believe that he might have bought makeup to cover up bruises, but like, how good could he have been at makeup to cover it up that well, to where like college girls who saw him the day after, or like even like the days after, the week after, the neighbors, the classmates, the doctor, the hairdresser, nobody noticed anything. And what I really want to know is if she washed his hair. Because if she just cut it, because if he came in and just wanted a dry cut, I mean, that's really not neither like here nor there, but there would put a lot more emphasis on the fact he wasn't covering anything up if she washed his hair, because then, you know, you've got the possibility of stuff getting cleaned off or getting wet and coming down. You know what I mean? Like if he was trying to cover anything up, but I just don't know. Because like I said, we can't really prove that the Ulta transaction has anything to do with him whatsoever, because why the frick do we need to know what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx? I'm going to keep going back to that. Why do we need to know what Kaylee bought at Petco? Why do we need to know what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx? I don't understand. Why do we need Bethany's bank records? Why? Why? I don't know. These are the big questions. Like his financial records, like video surveillance footage, like certain things, like I understand what they're trying to do here, but what's the point in this? Like, what does him having a crypto account have to do with anything? I just want to know. I'm just asking questions based off of real for real evidence that's actually admitted in this case. Nobody can say that I'm making shit up. I'm literally asking all the questions based off the black and white. But one financial transaction will show that she's mainly responsible for Murphy. I just don't know what would have been important enough. What would have been important enough? I don't know. Like, why do we need to know? Like, if it's not relevant to what happened, then we don't need to know any of these things. You know what I mean? Like surveillance footage showing him walking around, following them and being all creepy and shit. If they had it, but they don't. They've already told us that they freaking don't. And like I said, the majority, if not every single one of these except for one, every single one of these except for one doesn't have anything going back and forth and accompanying anything. So I don't know. People trade gift cards for drugs? It's a wild world. So I don't know. It's very odd though. I just want to go through that because when I heard about the early whatever report, she went there to buy things and was asked by another blonde that she took a pregnancy test. Who? What? How? Who? I don't think you're talking about this case. I don't know anything about a pregnancy test. I don't know. It just all doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, why the frick do we need to know what Dylan bought at TJ Maxx? Why? Why, Xana? I don't need to know that. Like, is she buying a gift for somebody? And somehow was it like something that was used as a weapon maybe? Like, I don't know. I don't think you can buy, well, I mean, I can't say you probably can't buy anything at TJ Maxx that you can use as a weapon, but you probably can. That's not my store. So I don't know. I just don't understand it. But that early warnings report, whenever I was reading up about it, and it was like, it's basically created for like, you know, to say that you did something fraudulent or there's some like fraudulent activity on your account. And I'm like, oh, well, this is interesting, you know, because we've had lots of questions about the banks. Lots of questions. So I don't know. But I'm glad we went through it because now we know what we've seen search warrants for, what we haven't seen search warrants for, but that they're submitting anyway. But again, as per theme, the more information that we get in this case, the more questions we have. We never, ever, ever get like an actual answer to anything. It's always more questions and more questions and more questions. But whatever. I guess we just have to get used to it by now. But that's it, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. It's a little bit after 11. I am going to be on doing a live with Brooks over on Crime Lines and Lies tomorrow. I don't think they've gone over the 911 call and the text over on her channel yet, and she asked me to come over there, and I've been over on Brooks' channel quite a bit. So I'm going to be doing that in the morning. I believe it starts at 9 o'clock Central Time. I took 4 hours off PTO in the morning so that I could do that live and just sort of like relax. And we will continue to go live tomorrow night to keep continuing going over the documents. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and like go through them beforehand and actually schedule it a little bit. I don't like scheduling and trying to like make a script for what I do. I really just don't. None of my videos are scripted. I might have like notes on a notepad or like little pinpoints I write down, but I don't like having like a pre-planned situation. I like coming out here and just like talking, looking up stuff as I'm going, like bouncing off of you guys whenever we do this kind of stuff. And even on videos, I don't script anything. But for time's sake, I'm going to go into the documents and go through some of them and pull like a certain amount that we can go through in a 2-hour bracket of time, because we went through the entire autism one. Granted, we talked for about an hour because stuff has been wild, and it still took a little over the 2 hours to read that one. So I'm just going to plan it a little bit easier so that we kind of like know exactly what we're going through. And then I need to start clipping the little pieces, because I'm about to have to just go off on Nancy Grace again because she's stupid. And the second that I give kudos to Joe from Body Bags, Joseph Morgan, he's over here placating to this idiot saying, oh yeah, Bryan can't be excluded. And I'm like, oh, another one that, the second that I give you a compliment, you prove to me that it was totally premature and not needed because you didn't bother reading the document either. So that's just beautiful. It just gets on my nerves so much. Thank you for the $9.99 super sticker, Mama She. Thank you for everyone who joined and became a member. Thank you for everyone who gifted a membership. Thank you for the super stickers, the super chats. Thank you so much for you guys being here and wanting to go through all this stuff with me. We did find some new information, interesting information, and I'm really glad that we went through it. I'm really glad that we decided to go through this, because why? Why is all this stuff there? You'll have a great night. I will have a link for the live with Brooks tomorrow. I'm going to try to do like the duo stream. There's a way that you can duo stream to where it's literally like on both of my, like both her channel and my channel, but we've never done it before. So I'm going to try to figure that out. I'm going to go ahead and drop my outro after I do my other little thingy, because I'm still horrible at this whole live streaming thing. Let me drop this one. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right. You guys have a great night. See y'all.